Good evening, everyone. Dhamma friends, welcome back to OPRC class. We're going to start. Yes, good evening. So we're going to start our OPRC class day 94 with uh, recitation, especially to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Once again, good evening, everybody. And we have been continuously studying Dhammapada stanzas, almost for now 70, almost like 70 over stanzas. In 6 more days, we are going to turn to our 100 class of this OPRC, which we started in 2023. Still, Balavagga is continuing, couple more stanzas before we pick up Panditavagga, wise people. The stanzas about wise people. Actually, when you look at the nature of unwise people and what they are doing, how they reflect themselves, how they uh, are being observed by wise people. Uh, there are a lot of wisdom too. So we learn a lot about wisdom and unwisdom, not just learning about their mistakes and what they can do to overcome that thing. All right, so today, as I said earlier, we are going to pick up Dhammapada stanza. Let me take a look. 72. This stanza is about the nature about the Bala's knowledge. Do we gather knowledge regardless of whether we are wise or unwise in our life? Regardless of religious, non-religious, atheist, agnostic, Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, we are gathering knowledge. Every day we are gathering knowledge. Sometimes that knowledge is um, very technical knowledge. Sometimes it could be a very much common sense. Sometimes things that we learn from other people. So anyways, though we like or not, though we want to, or though we don't want to, we learn. Even this is also kind of definitely a form of learning. But when an unwise person is to learn something, that learning can end up in some terrible, some dangerous, unwholesome situations. That means knowledge is just a technical part, and that knowledge has to conform to our life. Say, for instance, you are learning Dhamma every day, like you are learning Dhamma every day for many years, but still your Lobha, greed is not going down. Then you have to find out another antibiotic. Huh? Why by learning a lot of Dhamma, still my greed is at the same level. Maybe going a bit higher. You are doing the same thing, right? When you see a doctor, when the doctor gives a medication to you, if the uh, sickness or the inflammation, skin problem does not go down, you think this medication does not answer my problem, right? So then by learning a lot of Dhamma, but still my Lobha is the same level, at the same level. My anger is at the same level like 5 years back. So there's something wrong in this learning. So that's why a few weeks back we were talking about a way to measure our progress, right? I think we discussed that. At the same time, the issue here is that I'm going to connect to this today's stanza and story. The issue, the very issue with regard to that situation could be maybe we are only learning, that learning has not helped us to purify. Because finally it is purification, right? Not finally. Even at the very core, it's a purification. Not learning, learning and purifying, learning, purifying, right? So at the very core, what we see is that, in a sense, what do you call, being able to purify. What to purify? Lobha, dosa, moha. And some other secondary, tertiary apusalas. So then I think it is not through the lens of an unwise person that knowledge has become a problem to some. It is also very relevant to all of us, whether what we learn from by listening to a Dhamma talk, engaging in a Dhamma class, Pali class, chanting class, what else? Sutta discussion. Have they really helped us personally to reduce our ego? Look at Abhidhamma, right? When you go learn Abhidhamma, what are they talking? Rupa can be broken into tiny, tiny, tiny parts. Huh? Why are we learning this much of minute level of Rupa? Why? Because they want to tell us there is no self. That's what they are trying to tell us. Some people cannot understand, so they have to go into tiny, minute parts. There's no Rupa. Rupa is only part of 4 elements. And there are not only 4 elements, there are 4 other things. What do you call? Varna, Gandha, Rasa, Oja, and they are making up to pure octet. There are only 8 things. But finally, we understand nothing exists, it's always empty. Shunya. This is what we learn. So in that sense, we need to know that not even an unwise person is going to be in trouble with his or her knowledge. Maybe Dhamma knowledge, maybe secular knowledge, but also as Dhamma practitioners who are studying, learning now here on a weekly basis and maybe every day, we have to check whether what we are learning from these places have been truly working in our personal life, daily life, right? So that is the essence of this stanza, maybe a perspective of this stanza. Okay, so more to come. We'll see. We'll take a look at the stanza first, and then we will dive into more information. Dhammapada 72, Yava Deva Anattaya. This one is not Nattang, Nyatang, Jnana. Nyatang Balasya Jayati. Hanti Balasya Sukkasang. Sukkangsang. Muddhamassa Vipataya. Yava Deva Anattaya. Nyatang Balasya Jayati. Hanti Balasya Sukkangsang. Muddhamassa Vipataya. Okay, so we will be asking now groups, starting with group 1. Anybody who would like to read from group 1? Please go ahead. Yes, Pauline, please.
Kihoto, Bhante, and everyone.
Yes.
Yava Deva Anattaya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukham Sam Muddha Masa Vipatayam.
Yeah, great.
Thank
And
you.
yes, group 2. Anyone from group 2? Yes, Kim, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Yava Deva Anathaya, Nyatang Balasa Jayati, Hanti Balasa Sukansang, Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Muddha Massa.
Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Muddha Massa Vipatayang. Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 3? Yes, Chupen, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yawa Deva Anataya, Nyatang Balasa Jayati, Hanti Balasa Sukam Sang, Mudas Masa Vipatayang.
Muddha Massa, right?
Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 4 is Kebion, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yava Deva Anattaya, Nyatang Balasa Jayati, Hanti balasa sukangsang, muda masa vipatayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 5. Yes, Melinda, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukamsam Muda Masa Vipatayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, group 6. STC, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Yawa Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukangsang Mudang Masa Pipa Tayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 7. Group 7, yes, Stella, please go ahead.
Hi everyone. Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Jayati Anti Balasa Sukamsam Mutamasa Vipatayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 8, yes, Doris, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yava Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukangsang Muda Masa Vipayatang.
Muda Masa
Muda Masa Vipayatang.
Vipatayang.
Vipatayang.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
All right, so then we'll be asking others to read. So we will start with Mei Ui. Yes, May, please go ahead, and then Seri.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukamasam Muda Masa Vipatayam.
Would you mind reading the third line again? Hanti Balasa
Hanti Balasa Sukamsam.
Sukansam. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
Bhante.
great. Yes, and Seri, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Sukhihotu, Bhante.
Yes.
Nyawa Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukangsang Muda Masa Vipatayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Oi.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukangsang Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Did you say Mudda or Mudda? Which one you said?
Mudda.
Mudda.
Buddha, Mudda.
The is a different Pali letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Muddha Massa Vipatya. Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then CHR, please.
Bhante. Okay. Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasaya Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukangsang Muda Masa Vipatayam.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay, thank you.
And Suzanne, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, please.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Ya Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukamsam Muda Masa Vipatayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes, Nainchen, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukang Sang Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
And Ochuang, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Jayati Hanti balasa sukham sang Buddha masa vipatayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, same form, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yava Deva Anataya Yatam Balasa Jayati Anti Balasa Sukhamsam Uda Masa Vipatayam.
Buddha masa
Vipatayam.
vipataya. Yes. And then Isa.
Thank you, Bhante, and good evening, everyone.
Yes. Good evening. Yes.
Yavadeva Anathaya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukham Sang Mudhamasa Vipatayam.
Okay, great. And Paripurna. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante and everyone.
Yes, good evening.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukam Sam Muda Masa Vipatayam.
Okay, great. And then billing, please. Yes, billing, please go ahead.
Sorry, Bhante.
Yes.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukang Sang. Sukang Sang.
Yeah,
Buddha
correct.
Masa Vipataya.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And mailing, please.
Sukhihoto Bhante.
Sukhihoto. Yes.
Yava Deva Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukangsang Muda Masa Vipatayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Margaret, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yava Deva Anataya Nyatam Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukam Sam Buddha Masa Vipatayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, Rashmi.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yavadeva Anathaya Nyantang Balasya Jayati Hanti Balasya Sukkansa Mutthamassa Vipatayan.
Hanti balasa
Sukkansang.
sukhansang. Sukhansang Buddhamasa vipataya.
Sukkansang. Right, Bhante?
Yes. Yes, correct. All right, great. Anybody else who would like to read?
Yeah, well,
Yes, Corina, please go ahead.
Yava Deva Anataya Natam Balasa Jayati Hati Balasa Sukamsam Muda Masa Vipatayam.
How did you pronounce this actually?
Natam.
This is not N. This is nyata, nyana.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So N and nya, these are two Pali letters like this. This is nya, this is nya.
Okay. Nyatam. I do all over again.
Yes, no, it's okay. I think I heard properly now. Nyatang balasa jayati.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
thank
to
you.
get through. All right. So I just want to show you something. Is there anybody else who would like to read until someone comes up? I want to show you the difference here. Mudd. So this is regular D, right? So this is D. But when we see a letter like this, a dot below D, this is not the, this is the. Like ad means half, right? So this is not here actually. Maybe we might find out in some other places. So that's how we understand these two letters. So not muddamas, it's muddha mas vipatya. So is there anybody else who would like to read? Yes, Sumana, please go ahead.
Sorry, Bhante, not
Yes, good evening.
convenient to open camera. Sekian tu. Yawa Dewa Anataya Nyatang Balasa Jayati Hanti Balasa Sukhangsam Muda Masa Vipadayang.
Okay, great. All right, so at this point, we will be able to get into the text and the translation. Yes, Erin, you have anything to ask, please?
Bhante, can you
Yes.
please repeat what you were teaching just now about the D and the dot
Yeah,
there?
can you see this, something I drew here? There are two Ds, the English D, simple D. Like say, for instance, you're gonna pronounce Buddha, right? This is normal D, no problem. But if you see a dot under that particular D, that is not the, it's called the, adda means half. Oh, there are places that you can see this letter. Yeah, so the difference between two Ds that you see sometimes in the text. This D is very apparent, but this D, is being used at certain places. So that's the difference I just shared. Maybe when we see more Ds, we will find out the difference. Okay, so Yavadeva Anathaya Nyatang Balas Jayati Hanti Balas Sukhansa Muddhamasa Vipatya. Okay, so this is about the knowledge that an unwise person is making. Now, before I talk about unwise person, may I know who is an unwise person? I'm asking this question every day because if we don't know who this person is, then we don't know what he's doing after that. Who is an unwise person? How do we know that this person is unwise? What is the definition that we've been discussing so far? Anyone?
Does not have sila.
Does not have sila. But how to put that definition in clear terms? Yes, definitely sila is very important. But how to put it very, very clearly? Simply put, how to say it? We discuss at the beginning of Balavagga to say that the very specific meaning of Bala is the one who always come up with akusala thoughts. Always come up with akusala thoughts. That means there's no training that has been happening in his or her life. That is one part. Second, the definition is still going. The one who always comes up with akusala thoughts and akusala speech and akusala action. This is the Bala. This is the utter Bala, okay? The real Bala is this. You might find out different Balas in your life. But the utter stark Bala is this person. That means the one who always come up with akusala thoughts. Akusala thoughts mean becoming very greedy, always maintaining anger, hatred, want to destroy other people in many ways, and having wrong view. And then always speaking with lies, always want to break other people's friendship, peace, family, relationships, and was always hurting other people in his or her speech, and who is always wasting time by engaging in what do you call idle speech or gossiping. And also at the same time, the one who is always into killing, trying to break other person's life, not even killing, asking other people to kill too, it's also happening at the same time. And then the one who is always trying to steal. This stealing can happen physically, mentally, emotionally, and sexually misbehaving. So this is the person who is a Bala. But if you go to some other suttas like Mangala Sutta, you can see a very basic definition, right? There's a basic definition. The Buddha is saying asevana cha balana. That means don't associate unwise people, because we are using very civilized language. We don't call them foolish people, right? We don't call like that. Unwise people. because we can be unwise in a moment of time if we don't train ourselves, maintain. So this is the unwise person, the one who is always coming up with akusala thoughts, always coming up with, always engaging in akusala speech, always engaging in akusala behavior, actions. Okay. Then who is the wise person? The polar opposite, the one who is always coming up with kusala thoughts, kusala speech, kusala action. But when I say always, I think we are naturally into akusala. We have to believe that. We have to accept that. Our natural default nature is akusala nature. What to do? That is an evolutionary biological problem. We can't blame the evolutionary biology. That is there because nature wants us to evolve. It's okay. We don't blame for that. What we do is that as we practice over the course of time, we may be creating, or we have been creating a discipline with regard to these three aspects. Earlier, it was an effort, but later on, we are naturally good, better than how we were in the past, right? Now, when you look at English Christian golden rule, right? Don't do things to others, unto others that you don't like, which you don't like to go through. But there's a paradox. Is there a paradox with regard to golden rule in Buddhism? There's a paradox. There may be someone who might think, I want to go to a place and I want to kill everybody in that place and I want to kill myself, right? So just because that person wants to think that I want to kill and I want to torture myself, I want to kill myself, so I want that to happen to other people. That means golden rule is good on one side, but there are paradoxes that we have to address, right? So that's why we need to understand this, the nature, our biological, evolutionary nature is that we are with the raw thoughts. These raw thoughts can be mostly akusala. It's okay, because we don't have to blame anybody for that. That's our evolution. But as we learn, as we are putting what we learn into practice, then we will be able to become better in terms of our actions, speeches, and thoughts. Now, say for instance, Buddhism talks about that when you see something, when you hear something, when you smell something, when you taste something, when you touch something, when you think something, don't try to let it process. Does Buddhism talk like that? The Buddhism says that you need to de-automize, right? Right? Is it? Does Buddhism ask us to de-automize our sensory experience? Does it? It does, right? Buddhism says, don't try to process faster, take your time, respond to the experience with mindfulness, compassion, then yoniso manasikara, wise attention, and all these thoughts, right? So that is the basic idea. But are there places in our life that we don't have to de-automize, because automatic process, say for instance, you have been very kind for many years now, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, almost a decade. Every time you see someone who is suffering, then you are going to be compassionate without judgment. I don't want to know from which country is this person coming from. I don't want to know what's going on, but I can see that the person is suffering. I want to help this person. So it's this automatic with effort. Now, this nature, when you have been practicing kindness, compassion for 10 years or such long, next time when you go through, when you observe someone suffering, if you happen to be kind, compassionate, is this something that you need to worry about? No, because at that point, you have been practicing long, then it has become your normal practice. So that's why when Buddhism says de-automize, de-automize, de-automize everything, but there are certain exceptions with regard, you don't have to de-automize, because if you are good for long, you are good. But with regard to most of our experiences in our life, we may have to de-automize. Am I talking the right words to someone? Yes, I had to think twice. Am I really processing this particular scenario with regard to kusala? Right? So I was trying to give you kind of an understanding about like the overall process with regard to wise, unwise people. Now, what we understand is that nobody is 100% unwise or wise in certain contexts. Like until you attain Nibbana, you may make mistakes sometime. But what we are trying to tell you through this class or maybe other places is that try to be better, right? Always try to fix your tiny little problems in your life. Maybe that might be a little anger, little frustration, little complaint in nature that you have with regard to other people, laziness, right? So what we are trying to say is that try to fix them slowly. Don't try to fix your character with Dhamma in one night. Then what will happen to you? You will be very tired. Then what will happen to you? Then you will have the sila fatigue. Sila fatigue. Sila is too much for you. You can't process the sila in one day. Take your time, right? Because Buddhism always asks us to believe that anicca is always the truth. It's dynamic, consistently changing nature is the truth, right? So then going back to the Bala nature. So Bala, who is a Bala? The one who is constantly coming up with akusala thoughts, because the person does not do anything for his or her akusala thoughts. Just let them happen. Just let them process. And the one who is, at the same time, the one who is always coming up with akusala speeches and akusala actions. All right, so then going back to the stanza. Now the stanza is telling that Balas, unwise people are not always, I mean, doing nothing. I mean, they are also learning something. Actually, when you talk to someone like that, even when you talk to an akusala person, you may understand he or she has a certain knowledge about something. Even he or she might rationalize what he or she is doing, right? Think about there is a gossiper. Now, how do we, I mean, we don't have to call you are a gossiper, you are a bala, right? But we don't tell that to the face, right? Anybody who is breaking the 10 kusalas are going to be naturally entitled to get this, the name bala. The moment that you break one of them, you are entitled for taking the status of bala. So then the idea here is that, say for instance, it seems to be that this person is gossiping a lot. So much information you are processing. Are you really doing nothing for your work? You know a lot of things. I mean, what other people are doing, right? Always trying to collect information. Some informations are maybe is good for them, but they are not good for us. I mean, a lot of information, right? And think about somebody who is hurting other people, like with his or her speech. The person is trying to tell, no, you deserve to be scolded, you deserve to be yelled, you deserve my anger, right? Maybe they might be like rationalizing their own way of saying. So that means, looks like the Bala has a knowledge. That's why Bala is unleashing that to us, right? Bala has some knowledge, right? And sometimes some Bala might tell you, I don't know a lot of Dhamma, so, but I know something, You might know better than me, but I know something. That's what I'm here. So, I mean, the idea here is that Balas are people who have something in their own understanding. But the problem is this knowledge itself destroys the Bala. How does it happen? Now the Pali words Yava Deva. Yava Deva means Yava Deva means to the point, to the point. Anatta means harm, danger, maybe downfall, danger, downfall, harm, to the point of I mean, something, that something is given in the second line. That something is only for the harm, for the danger, for the peril, for the destruction of that person. I mean, you make it like in applied sense, the unwise person. So, Yavadeva to the point of anattaya, harm, peril, destruction, downfall. What is going to lead to that destruction, peril, or downfall? Balassa nyatta. Balassa nyatta. This first second. Balassa means unwise persons. Nyattam means knowledge, thereby understand. Jayati. So that means unwise person's knowledge will lead to the destruction only. Right? It will only lead to the destruction. Now think about, sometimes you may have felt in your life, there are people who should not have learned that particular thing. Because if they had not learned that, they would have been safe yet. Right? Some are saying different things. Some people are saying that, okay, I should have not migrated to that country. If we had not migrated to that country, our kids could have been much better in our mother country. They are thinking like that. But because we migrated, they could not find their life. And then we could not find our jobs. And we struggle a lot. Right? In the same way, there are a lot of hypotheses. I mean, hypothetical thinking going on here. That means whatever the knowledge that unwise person is acquiring will eventually lead to unwise person's own destruction, downfall. This is the idea, translation with regard to the first two lines. And then what will happen? The ripple effect is that downfall, that peril, that destruction will balassa sukhasam hanti. Sukhasam means happiness. Hanti means destroy. That's pretty interesting. Huh? Now, maybe Bala knows some Dhamma too. But the problem is Bala rationalizes that Dhamma in his own way. Now, may I ask you, that's a very important place to talk about something. When you learn Dhamma, how are you supposed to practice? Is it going to be your own way? Yes, finally, it will be customized the way how you want to practice with your comfort zone. But let's say there is Dhamma teaching here. Maybe let us say, let's take a very interesting one, family life. And Buddha talks about family life in the Singalovada Sutta. Now, different people will practice it in their own ways. But then, isn't there a certain consistent way that every practitioner Buddhist that has to first understand the context and then want to customize the practice in his or her own family life? There's a way. That's why the Buddha even said in many suttas in Samyutta Nikaya with regard to becoming a Sotapanna person. He said, if you want to become a Sotapanna person, you must have fulfilled 4 requirements. We call them as Sotapatti Angas, prerequisites for becoming a Sotapanna. One of them is very relevant to this idea. That means being able to really practice what anybody is learning. Now, Bala is mistakenly mispracticing. Bala is mispracticing. Why Bala is mispracticing? Bala has no idea of how to do it. He or she simply customizes the way he or she wants. Now, can you remember those 4 prerequisites that you need to cultivate in order for you to become a Sotapanna one day in this life, next life? What are they? Number 1. What is number 1? I hope I'm not making you embarrassed. Yes. First one. First prerequisite.
Listen to the Dhamma.
Listening to what Dhamma? True Dhamma, right?
Yes.
Saddhamma, not Dhamma. Saddhamma, true Dhamma. The Pali word is Saddhamma. Saddhamma Savana, listening to the true Dhamma. Dhamma means teaching. There are many teachings everywhere. Hindu teaching, Christian teaching, Catholic teaching, Islam teaching, Buddhist, school Buddhist, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So here what we need to understand is Saddhamma Savana. Okay, number one. That must be happening. It's not a one-day thing, right? You have to listen to talks. I would rather advise you to engage in a sutta discussion before you go for a Dhamma talk, because you won't be able to understand Dhamma talks if you have not been able to understand the context of the suttas which those monks are talking. They have read the suttas, but you may have not read that part. That will be more confusing. So it's important to learn some suttas. So you are making clear that you have the background to understand what they are talking. Number one is listening to true Dhamma. It's a consistent process. Number two. What is number two?
Yoniso Manasikara.
Yoniso Manasikara is the second requirement. That means wise attention. Wise attention. What is the Pali word for attention? Manasikara. Is Manasikara an automatic mental state? Yes. Manasikara is an automatic state. That means that's why Buddhism is trying to be curious about mentally sick people. Now think about in modern psychology, criminology, if a mentally sick person is to hit somebody, and if the person eventually die, but then there's a certain natural criminal punishment immunity which the mentally sick person might carry. But in Buddhism says, no, every action, though you have intention or not, you are carrying a certain manasikara. Who is saying that? Abhidharma. In the Abhidhamma, it says that there are 7 mental states that are happening for all kusala, akusala thoughts. Passa, Vedana, Sanya, Manasikara. So Manasikara is one of them. But the problem here is that Manasikara is very problematic because it can be kusala, it can be akusala. That Manasikara has to be kusala Manasikara, which is what is called Yoniso Manasikara. When that Manasikara becomes a wholesome Manasikara, we call it Yoniso Manasikara. So this is the second. That means every time when we are trying to process experience, what experience? What experience are you going to process? Sensory experience, huh? Eye experience, ear experience, nose experience, then tongue experience, body experience, mind experience. These are the experiences we all are going through every day. There are 6 experiences. Each time when we are going through an sensory experience, willingly or unwillingly, we should be able to bring wise attention to check whether I am processing more stuff. You may not be able to be perfect. Maybe whether am I able to process any sensory experience to the best of Yoniso Manasikara. That helped me to stay on to my kusala practice. And the third prerequisite, if you want to be, I think you have to be a Sotapanna, right? Not you. If you want to be a Sotapanna. If you want to be a Sotapanna, then what is the third prerequisite that you must have?
Kalyana Mitra.
Kalyana Mitras. Right? Noble friendship. Why can't we practice in a room? We lock our room and I do my own meditation. I don't want other people to come and knock my door. Why is it not important? Why is it not only enough? It is not only enough. When we sit together, when we talk together, when we participate in a retreat, Dhamma talks, Sutta discussion, having follow-up discussions, we may learn a lot of things from other people. Things that we never looked at. Not even that. We are getting a motivation. That motivation won't come to us when we are in the house, right? So Kalyana Mitras means being able to be surrounded with people who are working towards, actually they are Sappurisas, wise people. And then we want to be surrounded with them. We want to be influenced with them. And the last one, the last prerequisite.
Living in accordance to Dhamma.
How do we call it in the Pali? Dhamma patipada. This is what I want to pick up at this point. That's why I was trying to say this. Now, let's say I learn through Dhamma, I have wise attention, I have noble friends, but I don't do this thing. What is this? Dhamma patipada. Practicing Dhamma according to how the Buddha said that particular Dhamma teaching. If the Buddha said to practice Sila this way, we have to practice Sila that way. If the Buddha said practice Samadhi this way, we have to practice the way how he is talking to us. If the Buddha said Panya, wisdom is attainable in this way, we have to practice in that. When I practice in that way, I may go through challenges. You may go through challenges because we are living in a different century now. Those have to be understood and customized the way. But our framework, our main framework must be the Buddha's framework. If we don't follow that teaching according to that Buddha's framework of understanding the Dhamma teaching, then we are missing out on the path. Now look at this unwise person's way. Unwise person practices everything in his or her own way without staying onto the original framework. If everything is anicca, definitely we have to understand how to practice it in the modern life. But the framework is mostly similar. It's mostly the same. So these are the 4 things that we need to understand. So now you see the unwise person's knowledge, maybe Dhamma knowledge, maybe life knowledge, maybe skills. They all are at the end eventually leading to his or her own downfall, peril, destruction in whatever. We will learn this from the story too. Now, this part is what really happened to the person here. Call it Sattikutapeta, to an hungry ghost. Mudda massa vipatya. Due to a certain bad karma, this particular person did through his skill. He had a skill, but he misused the skill to do something wrong for a Pacceka Buddha. And then because of that bad karma, what happened? He became a Peta, ghost, hungry ghost. And then what happened? Every time, like always, he is seen to other people that 10 sharp sledges or maybe spikes are falling onto his head. And then because of that falling, his head is going to be ripped apart and then again brought back together by nature for the akusala karma. Mudda means what you call head. Vipataya, like striking down his head, bringing about his own ruin, his own destruction. Vipata means vipatti, disaster. Mudda massa means head. So this part has to be understood with the stories thing. So finally, I mean, the full translation could be whatever knowledge arises for an unwise person, that knowledge serves only for his or her own harm. It destroys his or her happiness as if smashing his very head. Sattikutapeta. Okay, I think we will be learning more things with regard to the story. Let us go to the story at this point. Okay, let us understand this Pali word. How to translate this name? Because last week we discussed about another Peta. What was his name? Ahipeta. Right? Ahipeta means? Ahi means snake. So all these Pali words carry a meaning. Now here Sattikutapeta. Satti means, we will decombine the words this way. Satti means 60. There's a number, right? 60. 60. Kuta means you can see sledges or spikes. You can also say they are stones, very big rocks, or maybe very spikes. So what you can see here is that if you look at them as what you call sledges, these could be 60. At one time, 60 of these hammers or sledges drop automatically onto his head, and his head is become smashed, and then again his head is becoming back to normal. Again they are dropping into his head. So these are not real photos, but what happened was that just like the last week how we discussed about two monks, Venerable Lakhana and Venerable Moggallana, the same. So they were another day they were actually descending a certain place. Of course, we could say Rajagaha, maybe Gichukut as well. And then Arahan Moggallana showed a smile. And then, like how we learned that day, Arahan Moggallana was asked by Venerable Lakhana, why did you smile? And then at that point, Arahan Moggallana had told Venerable Lakhana, I will tell you why I smile if you ask this question in front of the Buddha. So then there will be more proof. And then he waited. When they went to see the Buddha, Venerable Lakhana asked this. And then Arahan Moggallana said, the reason why I smile was that when we are descending the Gijakuta, I saw another hungry ghost. But this ghost has a different physiognomy. Earlier I saw the hungry ghost had a human face and the body is like a snake. But this one is a human type, but I see that 60 sledges or maybe I could say hammers falling onto his head. And I was very surprised what will happen. His face, his head is going to be ripped apart because of this smashing. And then again, the head is going to be back to normal. Again, they are falling. What kind of akusala karma this hungry ghost may have done? This was the curious part of the story. At that point, we got to learn what must have happened with regard to this Sattikota Peta. It is said that in one life, there was a cripple who was very good at, slinging stones. I think it's a very interesting thing to learn as well. These people who might be using sling to throw stones. And so let's say it might have been something like this if you have not seen it before. Something like this. So he was using this stone to sling to people. Not sling to people. Actually, this cripple was very good in this art to sling stone into leaves of trees to make certain what you call textures. Say, for instance, he can actually sling stones, toward a leaf and make a horse, make an elephant in that particular leaf, while the leaf is connected to the tree. So he was such a very, how to say, talented man. So many people, especially young people, they were coming to him and asking him, we give you money, we give you food. Can you make an elephant in that particular leaf in that tree? He said, okay, I will do. I'm going to actually throw stones with my sling. I'll make it. So one day what happened, the king of the country was going by. So he just wanted to stop by this area. So all the young people, maybe children, they left the crippled man, the one who is good at slinging stones, near a banyan tree. And then the king actually was feeling sleepy, and he slept for a while. When he opened the eyes, he saw the leaves in the tree having certain textures, especially there are horses, elephants, different animals. He was very shocked to see who is doing this. And then he learned from other people nearby that cripple who was living near this banyan tree is the one who is making it. So he was very happy. Then the king wanted him to have support for something. It's not given in many places, even in the commentary. It is said that my minister, my Purohita, the one I am taking advices, a very talkative man. When I say don't talk, he's even talking to me. So can you do something for that man? When he's talking, do something for him. So he was throwing certain things into his mouth. And finally, the Purohita minister said, Majesty, dear Majesty, from today onwards, I'm not going to talk to you because you planned something so that I have to stop my talking. So in this way, the crippled man became very popular in the kingdom because then the king gave him some houses in many parts of the kingdom. By this time, another man was looking at, okay, if a cripple can sling a stone and then do these things, what can a person who has not become a cripple can do in his or her life? So I want to learn this talent from this cripple and I want to outsmart him. I want to emulate him. Then one day he approached the cripple and asked him, can you teach me how to sling stones and make these different things in those leaves? He said, okay, I'll teach you. So what happened? He learned from the cripple and he was able to learn well. But after he learned, he now is going back. When he was going back, now he thought, I want to test my skills. Right? There are such people, I mean, such people who want to test their knowledge right away. Right? It's like in Sri Lanka, a long time ago, 20 years ago, when the first movie of the Bruce Lee came in, people went to see the movie, watch the movie. Upon coming out of the movie theater, they were going to attack all the trees, flower pots, everything. And people were thinking, what are you guys doing? Because we want to test the knowledge that we got from the Bruce Lee in the movie. I mean, those unwise people, they want to try it right away. This man wanted to try. He was looking for somebody, actually somebody, not even a tree. And he saw, okay, there was a monk going nearby. Actually, he's a Pacheka Buddha. He's an enlightened person. Okay, monks don't have parents. Well, they left the parents. If I do something wrong to the monk, nobody will come up. So maybe I am going to sling a stone to this monk. Now he's going to attack a Pacheka Buddha. So what happened? He threw a stone with that sling to his. It is said in the story through one ear, and it is said the stone came out of the other ear. Think about how fast, how terrible is that slinging, because he learned from the cripple. So what happened? The Pacheka Buddha was on his arms round Pindachara. He couldn't go for Pindapata anymore. He stopped and he went to the temple. He passed away just because of this attack, what he did to him. But he said nothing. He said nothing about the person, because Pacheka Buddhas have already become Buddhas. They have no complaints. They have no, what do you call, any such thoughts. Now, let's say when someone complains to you, when someone did something wrong to you, how many years you are carrying that pain? For how many people you are unleashing? You did this to me 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You are keeping that in your mind. But Pacheka Buddhas, that was just something that's done. And he went to the temple, he passed away. So what happened then? This man was troubled by many people, his devotees. He had to pass away also at a certain point. And then he was reborn in the hell called Avici, the most terrible hell in early Buddhism, Avici hell. And then after spending many years. I mean, definitely not years, very, very long time. He still had a residue of akusala, a remainder of akusala. So then he had to pay for it. So he was becoming Sattikuta Peta. Sattikuta Peta means the Peta who has to pay off for the remainder of the akusala, because he slung that stone to the Pacceka Buddha, and the pain the Pacceka Buddha went through. And in Buddhism, it talks about not even your akusala activity, if the target, if the victim of your target become a very good person who has more sila, samadhi, panya, you will have to suffer a lot in your samsaric life, right? It doesn't mean from today evening you can do akusala to some who are not having enough sila. It doesn't mean so. But in the long run, if the akusala was done for a very virtuous person who has more kusila, not even sila, okay? Sila, samadhi, panya together. Who has sila, samadhi, panya together, then that akusala will take effect faster. So then what happened? That man, after spending a very, very long time in Avicii hell, he happened to become reborn as Sattikuta Peta. And now, every moment, according to the story, every moment he is getting a smashing from 60 burning sledges, hammers onto his head. And then again, and the head becomes smashed, again, a new 60 burning sledges, hammers dropping onto his head for that. So now let's go back to this the idea in the stanza. The idea says that the knowledge that the man learned from the crippled person, he could have used it for something good. The crippled man was using that for an earning, but he did not use it to hurt other people. So that is the main thing. When we learn something, we have to be very careful. If you have a degree, if you have a certain technical knowledge, if you have a certain experiential knowledge, we always have to use it for the right purpose in an ethical way. So that's the main thing. If we are not using that, we become a bala in that moment. So today you learn another definition of bala. Normally we know if you are coming up with constant akusala thoughts, akusala speech, and akusala actions, you become a bala. But today, you know, if you learn something, but if you are going to misuse that learning, that knowledge, you will also become a bala because of that problem. That means whatever you learn in your life, you must have use, you should use for that for some ethical purposes. Don't use it for unethical things. That is the main thing that we are learning. That means even our knowledge can become us, make us a unwise person, bala. Okay, in order to understand this better, now we are going to the notes. Today there are only 8 notes, just to clarify. Number 1, skill, sippa, without wisdom, panya, leads to self-destruction. Sippa. Where do you find this Pali word, sippa? S-I-P-P-A. Anybody who has found out this Pali word in your reading?
Mangala Sutta.
Mangala Sutta, right? How does the Mangala Sutta say this?
Bahu Sachancha Sipancha.
Bahu Sachancha
Sippancha.
Sippancha. Bahu Sachancha Sippancha. That means, what do you call? Bahu Sacha mean?
Much learning.
Huh?
Much learning. Much learning.
Much learning.
Many.
Wide
Skillful.
learning. Wide learning.
Wise learning.
WIDE learning. Now, when it comes to Dhamma, it is not that we learn one sutra or 2 sutra or maybe one particular stanza, right? We have to learn widely. Why is it? Some of the teachings we learn in one sutra is going to be differently given in another sutra. So then how do I know that sutra? Then I have to approach someone who can teach me. Otherwise, I learn something in a wrong way, right? So that's why even Dhamma can make us unwise if you don't learn in the proper way. Now, I will give you an example, another example. Say, for instance, karma. Now, the Buddhist understanding of karma is given in many suttas. Many suttas, especially very important suttas. Let's say your understanding about karma is when you do a good thing, you get a good result. When you do a bad thing, you get a bad result. I think this is the main understanding of karma by many of the people. But Buddhism, many Buddhist sutras, like say for instance, Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, and the second one is Mahakamma Vibhanga Sutta, Nibbedika Sutta Anguttara Nikaya, then Sivaka Sutta, Girimananda Sutta. These suttas are telling us no, that binary understanding of karma is not enough. You have to go beyond, because Buddha is discussing karma, going beyond the binary understanding about good begets good, bad begets bad. Sometimes we are doing good, bad together, creating mixed karma. Earlier it was an 80% of good karma, 20% bad, perhaps. Maybe 100% good karma. Later on, the way how you look at the good karma, you are not happy for the help you did to somebody. Right? Let's say you helped somebody 2 years ago. Now you don't look like you are happy about that support because of your own rumination, your own interpretations. Now what will happen to the good karma with that support? Even to the bad person. Maybe you supported the wrong person, but it's okay. Support is support. Then now you are looking at, why did I help that person 2 years ago? Then what will happen to that good karma you done at that time? Now good karma is taken back, looked at again here. You are going to bring a certain akusala part now, maybe 10% akusala part. Now the 100% thing will go down to 90 and with 10% of akusala. So then I understand not even people do good karma or bad karma. Time to time people are engaging in mixed karma. Right? Mixed karma. So then where are you learning all these things? You have to learn some important suttas, not one suttas. That's why I'm telling you, not a lot of learning. What if you learn a lot, but you haven't learned the important suttas? You learn all these tiny little sutras, but they are not very important one. Yes, you may learn if you want, but you haven't learned the very important one, the essence, the cream of the understanding. Then that much learning is not going to help you anyway. But when I say wide learning, have you learned karma widely with regard to the very important sutta? Oh, that's a very good one. Have you learned about Bala, Pandita widely, starting from Mangala Sutta, Dhammapada, Sevitabba, Bala, Pandita, and all these suttas? Wide learning. So this is the place we learn Sippa. Bahu Satcha means wide learning, and Sippa means technical skills. Sippa means technical skills. At that time, striking an arrow, archery, so many things. So I think in our life, we have hard skills and soft skills, right? So, and then going beyond the hard and soft skills, we also learn certain humanities, social sciences, scientific knowledge, medicinal knowledge, engineering, all that. Now, the thing is that this particular knowledge that we have learned for a certain job, vocation, occupation, should not be misused for something. Okay, the Bala is doing that. Bala is misusing that knowledge he or she may have learned from many. Anybody want to share any example that someone may have misused someone's knowledge learned through a specific technical skill? Any thoughts, any example?
Bhante, how about the atom, the bomb, the atom, nuclear energy, and then misuse?
Atomic bombs, nuclear weapons, right? When they are asked why are you doing, just in case, they say just in case. But the problem is now everybody is doing that for just in case, so they are going to clash to each other. And what about gun? The gun. What about these weapons? Any other things, right? What kind of knowledge is that? We understand when the world is evolving and there are threats happening, and one country would like to get ready for that particular threat. But the problem is when the knowledge is too much, and then that knowledge can evolve into certain areas that might be very destructive. So one thing is creating those weapons, right? And then, but they have their own ways to, justify why they are making, but still, this can be a problem. What are the other things that we have to learn with regard to misusing the knowledge?
Suicide bombers, Bhante.
Yeah, again, those harmful, right? Harmful things, especially. And something, can we talk about something normal in our life that someone is misusing?
What about scams?
Scams.
Financial fraud.
Yeah, scammers are not at all good. They are not at all good. But financial fraud, yes. And then one more example. Sometimes when the law enforcement find out those scammers and cyber bullies or attackers, they get to find that they are very much educated people. They are very much educated. Some even carry some degrees, right? So then why is it? Now, a few years back, Sri Lanka had the Easter attacks. 300, 400 people were killed while they were going for the Easter. And then they found out the main person was having 3, 4, 5 degrees in the UK. Why that kind of a person is the mastermind behind all these attacks? It could be different. They're still finding more information. The idea is that sometimes when you learn too much, you are intellectually vulnerable to many things. That means learning also has to be done in a moderate way, in moderation. Because when we learn too much, when anything is too much, is too much. It can be meditation, it can be chanting, it can be dana, it can be sports, it can be studies, it can be even relationships. It's too much is too much. We are going into trouble. So that's why, yes, we find out ethical aspects. Within those ethical aspects, we have to maintain our knowledge, right? We have to maintain that particular knowledge in how we're going to carry on that within our ethical parameters. It can be a doctor, it can be a lawyer, it can be a Buddhist monk, it can be anybody, right? So they are trying, they are level based. I'm not saying that it's very easy all the time. It might be very challenging, but they are trying their level best in fitting onto their own ethical parameters. So then they are not going to be bala. Yes, Polly?
Bhante, like now with AI, right? The computer and programmers and all that, they actually writing themselves out of their jobs. They will create a special AI program. At the end of the day, the employers don't need them to do the job, so they actually get rid of themselves. They get so they kind of destroy with their knowledge. They destroy their job opportunity.
You mean the AI's technology
Yeah.
is trying to replace?
Yeah, but the
things.
persons who actually create the AI, they
Yes,
actually lose their own jobs. Yeah, at the end of the day, they lose their jobs. Yeah.
Yes. I think when it comes to artificial intelligence, what we need to think is that many things have become automated even in the last 10 years. Now think about let's think about something like a very simple example. You go to a grocery shop and 100, 200 people waiting for a checkout, the cashiers. But when there are self kiosks, people go and get it done. So there are good stuff happening over there. Automation is good. But then the problem is, you think about academic studies nowadays. What kind of challenge are these teachers, professors going through all the assignments are super good. Why? There are a lot of AI apps to write. But then how are professors going to assess their assignments? Because if they send a very good assignment, so you have to give the marks. You can't not give the mark. Then there are apps. Now you write with AI and then you rehumanize. You can rehumanize. The robot does the two things. Robot creates the knowledge, robot then rehumanizes the robot knowledge. So then when it comes to the soft copy to us, you can't trace it out. But then what can we do? Now the idea is that we're going to reduce assessments, especially writing assessments part. And we're going to give more marks to the oral exam. So you have to prove what you write. You may write with AI apps or rehumanizing apps. You get 10%. Earlier you got 40%. Now 10%, 30%, you have to defend what you wrote. Then you have to talk. At the moment, no robot can replace that talking. So that is one thing. I think we have to find out what to do. But I think this will be not as a trend, definitely as world is going to develop in their own ways. Things have become, we have to accept things are changing. So we have to find out how to find our work at the same time, how to find our interest areas within those changes. That is one thing. Yes, suddenly it will happen. It's a very big change. People might not be able to find out their jobs. So on the surface level, it might look to us, yes, it can be a harmful thing. But this is what is happening to all the aspects. So we have to understand that too. All right, so going back to the first point, let's understand that more. This particular man who learned the art of slinging stones as the crippled man, but lacking wisdom, he used it recklessly. In today's world, one may obtain technical knowledge, medicine, law, engineering, digital tools. Just now we discussed that, AI. But if misapplied, medical fraud, cybercrime, manipulative marketing, it harms both self and society. Wisdom must guide skill. Now, in one of my sutta discussions lately, there was a question posed by somebody asking that the person is working as a doctor in a clinic, and then he is only working under that particular main doctor. And he got to know this main doctor is doing some underhand activities. Now, one thing is that, what do you call, he's engaging in selling some organs bought from the poor country people into the rich country. And he's active in that activity. Second is that he's issuing fake vaccination certificates. Now, this is the problem. You are a doctor. Just because you can do it, you are doing it. But finally, this is really creating a mess. But the question was that, should I continue working in that firm or not? I said, now the problem is not his bad things. Now, you know the problem? What's the problem? Problem is you got to know what he's doing now. That is the issue now. So it's better to quit the place. So that's why there are people who are misusing. So we don't want to be that kind of bala. So we have to always try our level, because I understand it's challenging. It's all challenging with financial aspects, digital aspects. It might be challenging, but we are try our level best to fit on to those ethical aspects. Otherwise, we will become just like that man. Second, do not imitate blindly without understanding context. The man saw the cripple gain prosperity and imitated him without realizing the conditions that made it possible. Modern parallels include copying careers, investments, lifestyles without knowing the deeper effort or ethics behind them. Learning is good, but imitation without insight, this is the function of wisdom, can end in failure. Are we copying other people's life? You happen to know someone who is having a certain Dhamma practice. Are you going to copy that person's practice? Or you practicing in your own way? We don't have to copy anybody. Because our practice, if we know how to practice it in the proper way, we practice it in our own way. You don't have to copy anybody. I think this person, what we see is that he only copied He only copied slinging stone. He didn't know why the crippled man, what the crippled man is doing with that activity. That's the thing. Crippled man never misused that activity. It was his good job. But this person just used it for anything. So we have to make sure that when we learn a talent, to make sure that we are on the safe side of that particular activity. Exploitation of the vulnerable has heavy consequences. Definitely Pacceka Buddha. What happened to Pacceka Buddha? I think you can read this, but I want to ask you, what is the difference between Pacceka Buddha and Samma Sambuddha? We discussed that long time. What's the difference?
Pacceka Buddha doesn't teach Bhante, but they are also fully enlightened, but except they don't teach.
Actually, Pacceka Buddhas want to teach. They teach, they try to teach, but it is not effective. Right? They cannot deliver the knowledge. Now, that's why we need people like brand ambassadors today. You know, there are people who know the subject well, but when they want to deliver it to people, oh, it's very boring. You don't know how to talk about this product. That's why every company needs marketing people. And this will be understood as brand ambassadors. So the issue is that Pacceka Buddha, Samma Sambuddha, they are on a par with their Samma Sambuddha knowledge. But Samma Sambuddha knows how to deliver what he attained. So in short, I could say Samma Sambuddha can conceptualize what he learned as enlightenment, whereas Pacceka Buddha cannot do that. Have you ever found out people who are very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable, but when it comes to giving a very short talk, very small speech, have you ever found out they can't even talk like even a normal child, very usual child? Not even a talk, maybe like a small thing in their activity. Why is it? That means knowledge alone is not enough. Delivery is more important in today's world. That's why we see there are people who are not very knowledgeable, but when they present something, it's very, very entertaining, very, very applicable to the context. It's a talent. So Samma Sambuddha had that talent. We call it conceptualizing to the society, not society, to the whole universe. So anyways, Pacceka Buddha and Samma Sambuddha, they have no difference with regard to their enlightenment. But this man, unfortunately, did this thing to a Pacceka Buddha. So we should be very careful with regard to vulnerable people, especially women, children, orphans, workers, refugees, animals, environment. More importantly, spiritual people too. Does this say that we can do wrong things to other people? No, we have to avoid every wrong activity. Why is it? Last Thursday, I shared with you. The Buddha said to us, Sabba papasa akarana. Sabba papasa, not papasa. We have to avoid sabba papasa, all akusala, all evil. So then definitely this is out of the discussion. But because this happened with regard to Pacceka Buddha, the paying back is so difficult. Prosperity can be a double-edged sword. Definitely what he learned and what he did after that. Learning without ethics destroys the learner's potential. Ethics. This could be sila. Every subject has sila, right? Every subject should have sila. Definitely they carry sila. And then sila is not even enough. Sila, samadhi, panya together make us very wise, right? Sila leads to samadhi, samadhi leads to panya. Finally, sila, samadhi, panya together. The practice has to be happening with regard to sila, samadhi, panya simultaneously. That is a better practice, a growing practice. Violence brings suffering first to the doer. It will finally lead to social suffering. That's interesting. You know, when we are doing a wrong thing, it is not only us engaging in the wrong activity. We are even bringing that to the society. Think about someone is doing a wrong thing. the doctor in that incident is issuing fake vaccinations. Now, what will be the ripple effect of these fake vaccination certificates? Think about other people who are going to believe these fake vaccinations, right? And then the health, well-being, hygiene, diseases, right? There will be a big issue. So finally, one person's wrong thing will affect the whole society. Actions have inescapable consequences. This is what we understand with regard to that man. This is more important. True knowledge is more than skill, it's right view. This is why the Buddha always tells us to practice, start our Dhammapada with right view. The Buddha's verse reminds us that learning must go beyond technical knowledge sources. It requires reflection, ethics, compassion. In the modern knowledge economy, data and information are abundant, but wisdom is rare. Knowledge becomes real true only when it ethically benefits both self and others, aligning with right way, samadhi. So samadhi is what we call wisdom here. All right, so now with regard to today's stanza, we can ask anyone. If you have any question, you can ask at this point before we transfer good karmas. Once again, I want to summarize. Today what we learn is that when you misuse your knowledge, you become a bala. That's what we learn. Yes, Melin?
Bhante, just just wondering whether if someone is remorseful, would it lessen the effects of the bad action? Like, because there are a lot of people who have done wrong, but they in their delusion, they think they've not done anything wrong, so they won't admit it. So compared to someone who has realized they done something wrong, maybe they repent and they change their behavior. Is there any effect on it?
Yes, certainly. Now you are asking someone who has rationalized versus someone who now understands and then worries about what she did.
Yes.
And then want to do something, not even remorse. So I understand
Or
the remorse.
even a lot of people get caught up in get obsessed about feeling remorse, regret, and whether they do something else to improve or to overcome it. So with that nagging thought, that clinging to those thoughts, would it lead them to further bad rebirth? Or is it better someone who is like taking things lightly and never give a forethought to what they've done?
Well, I think out of these two,
Yeah.
of these two people, the one who is remorseful is better, because remorseful person has already admitted, I have done a wrong thing. Now I want to even look for what I can do. So Buddhist advice is, when you come to that level of point of remorse, you need to do more good karma. Say, for instance, you did a wrong thing to somebody. Now you do the opposite. Now you do the opposite. You were very unkind to someone for 10 years. Now be kind to many people as you meet. So that's way, way better. That will reduce the suffering. That will reduce the long-term time, and then cutting time in order becoming an enlightened person too. Definitely. That is the good idea, to be on the safe side. Rather than you rationalize every time, no, that was a good thing, I had to do it. Because Buddhism says, if you do an akusala with a rationalization, when you rationalize, it's okay to lie, it's okay to scold someone, it's okay to do XYZ wrong thing. That carries more weight with regard to akusala vipaka. Think about someone hurt someone without being very conscious. It happened all of a sudden. And versus someone who planned to hurt someone by planning many days, and then hurt, and then even after that, when he or she was reminded, no, you deserve my hurt. And this kind of thinking really create more akusala, because you are planning and you are rationalizing. You never admit what you have done. So there's a good Samaritan after some time, or maybe after a couple of days, coming up, no, I did a bad thing. This is really bad. But now what should I do? Should I be remorseful every day? No, because remorse, continuous remorse, is also akusala. We call it kukucha. But being remorseful for a moment to understand my own akusala is okay, because I make a what do you call transition from that akusala stage to a kusala stage. I need to become remorseful, regretful about what I did. Then at that moment onwards, I have to do the opposite of what I did. So then that remorse was the turning point. That is very important. Second person is doing the right thing at that point. Yes, definitely second person. Yes, Pauline?
Bhante, I know we are not supposed to contemplate about workings of karma. I'm just curious. Possibly we can say that the Pachika Buddha's karma kind of ripened to have to go through that kind of suffering and to die that way. Possibly. So it's like that person's a bit unlucky to be there at the coincidentally at that time, at that place, and suddenly have just that idea to, you know, to use the slingshot to test his skill. So in life, sometimes could it be that way that some people, you know, you understand that the time is right for that person to die in an accident. You also have that karma to actually, you know, lose control of your car and kill him, you know, I mean, whether deliberately or not, you know, something like that. How does that work? Thank you.
Now the issue is that every bad experience that every person goes through in this life. Now you picked up the Pacheka Buddha. We cannot relate to the bad incident to karma, because sometimes the people are very innocent, right? People are very innocent, but because of the nature of our mind and mental factor, chitta chetasika, someone is going to do a wrong thing to someone. So that means we don't have to believe that Pacheka Buddha must have done a bad karma, and then that's why he had to go through that thing, because then we are doing a wrong follow-up about what happened actually, because we don't know. So better to say that not everything happens due to karma, but akusala bala people creating akusala karma. That's why when you are with the bala, even you are not the culprit of the bala's wrong treatment, you have to go through bala problem. So I think what we can say is that the Pacheka Buddha was at the wrong time in the wrong place, right? He was the guinea pig for this wrong man. This man wanted to test on this thing on the Pacheka Buddha. It happened, you know, sometimes there are a lot of murders happen because the people were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not that they necessarily, but when you look at it, why that person had to go through like this in very young time, maybe bad karma. How do I say it's bad karma? Because when I don't know how to understand it, I would say, yeah, bad karma. When I cannot understand someone's very fast track progress, no, this is not a technical progress. You must have done a good karma in your past life. Maybe we don't know. Maybe due to his or her talent. Maybe due to his or her perseverance. So what I can say is that the story does not mention the Pacheka Buddha, anything about Pacheka Buddha, why he went through. Story says that the person became immoral, and Pacheka Buddha was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He had to go through that. But it doesn't mean just because he had to go through it, he did a wrong thing. He did the same thing to somebody. So, right? So then say, for instance, when you hear someone was run over by a vehicle, why maybe he did the same thing to someone. That's really irrational to say like that. I mean, maybe a very negligent, reckless driver who gave the license to this guy. And we're not looking at that way, right? So it's better not to forecast about it rather than thinking not every bad experience happens due to karma. Karma is on one of the things, but people bala create new karma. That is the problem. So that's why the Buddha said we may have not done wrong thing, but don't associate bala, because when you are with the bala, you have to go through suffering from bala. So let's look at that. Yes, Nayanchen?
Bhante, I was wondering about the Bala who did Akusala stuffs. And what happened if they are so ignorant that they didn't know that they are doing that Akusala. They thought they are doing the right thing. So if nobody were to tell them that, oh, that is not a wise thing to do, they will not wake up. They will just think, oh, I'm just continue to do the same thing over and over again. So how do we look at it from the Buddhist point of view?
Now in the Pandita Vagga that we are going to start in few more weeks, I think the first stanza is exactly what you are talking. Nidinang pavattara yang passe vajja dasina. It is said that when a bala is doing something, if the bala is your friend, you can say to bala, hey, you are doing something wrong. You have to learn. He might not be happy, she might not be happy, but look at the right timing and give that idea. If you are not the right person, try to find out a good person to get that message passed on to the bala. And then the Buddha is saying that kind of approach is like you are trying to tell someone, hey, there is a treasure in that place. Go and find it out. So in that way, we have to give the message to the Bala if Bala is approachable to us. We can do it in our own way. If we are not the right people, we have to find out a way to pass it. Maybe Bala might trust certain people. So we have to get the message that way too. But some Balas are not really open. That's why sometimes Buddha even didn't want to talk to some Bala until the right time comes. So we have to find out certain approaches.
Okay, and then what happened if the Akusala action is, let's say it's me, I am the one who did it, but I didn't know that it's Akusala action. So, okay, I mean, other people do it, then maybe you could say, oh, that's an Akusala action, but what about ourselves? How do we get out of that kind of
So if you say you had not known that it was akusala at that time, so that means the karmic weight is less. You have a certain karmic immunity because you didn't know. But if you had known that this is akusala, but you still engage in that, then you are creating a full-blown akusala.
Sure.
That is how we look at it.
Yes.
I think that is the same thing in the
So
law. It is same thing in the law because if you know the wrong thing and if you engage in, you get more punishment. The same idea.
So we just hope that there are wise people around us to point to us that we are not doing the right thing.
Well, that's a very challenging thing because there may be arguments can happen. That's why we have to be very careful, very mindful. What could be a good way to approach someone like that? Think about there's a gossip, always gossip. But when you tell this to that person, he or she might take it in a wrong way. So maybe we have to become friendly to that person in a good way. Maybe we look at someone who he or she is trusting in, right? Maybe you are looking for a good opportunity to talk to that person. So I think each approach is very unique and different. Yes, otherwise, not that you are going somewhere, say, you all five are balas, huh? You have to learn from me. Huh? You are creating a big mess. How are you saying that we all are bala, right? Are you think you are wise, right? That's right. So we have to be very careful in message. All right. So with that, we are going to transfer the good karmas. Especially, we are going to summarize this way. Today, what we learned was how to learn something and then how not to misuse what we learn and then to practice, right? As a secular person and at the same time in our spiritual practice. So even when you misuse your practice, you become a bala instantly. So don't become a bala by misusing what you learn in your life, Dhamma knowledge and other things. So with that, let's go to the transfers of merits. May all the good karmas we be making today by learning about another aspect of bala, how to become a bala in another aspect, which was misusing what we learned. May all these good karmas, insights, good karmas be transferred to all departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Deva Naga Mahitika, may Deva Naga Mahitika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they bless all of us for protection, safety, happiness, good health, and all the good things. May Deva Naga Mahitika also be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha amhehe sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehe sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasatta ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanang. Akasatta ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang. Akasatta ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tumang parang chirang rakkang tutwang sadati. Next, we are going to make the Dhammavish. Dhammavish is always about the third requirement, Sotapatti requirement, which is Kalyana Mittas, accomplishment of Kalyana Mittas. Maybe always be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas, at the same time maybe become Kalyana Mittas to as many sentient beings as we meet in this samsaric life till we attain Nibbana. With this great intention, we're going to make the Dhammavish. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today by learning about how not to become a bala with regard to our knowledge, our finally practice, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siris nichang vadha pacha inu chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, with those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good evening till we see again on Thursday again.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, thank you, Sadhu.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Tuan
Bhante.
Saranai Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.
Yes.
Good night, Bhante.
Yes, good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.